So tonight, here are the fires that we're focusing on in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. We have live team coverage. In minutes, Chief Meteorologist Lewis Turner is tracking air quality. And meteorologist Robert Speta is on your side with the latest information on road closures and also evacuation routes. Plus, our Zach Wilcox is on the ground covering the railroad complex fire.
But first, we want to go to Brantley County up in Georgia. Brand new video tonight showing the extent of the fire damage. You can see just how badly burned this car was, leaving just a shell of what it once was. Our Biljana Garland is going to begin our live team coverage in Brantley County. Biljana, I know you've been driving around that area all day. Just talk a little bit about what you've been seeing.
Right now, I'm standing at the airport because the road in front of us that we would take to get to where the fire and the smoke is currently blocked off. So that's why we're standing here. But earlier we were driving around and I did see a lot of homes burned to the ground and a thick white haze of smoke just sitting on top of the road. And yesterday, the acreage that this fire burned was about 700, and that jumped in 8 hours to over 4,000 acres. And take a look at your screen right now. You can see roofs sitting on the ground and smoke blowing from the trees. And people I talked to say homes are gone before anyone can react. I met Isaac Wilcox, who says he watched it happen house by house near his aunt's home, who in one of the hardest hit subdivisions. With the roads blocked, he and his family cut through the trails to get back in, and what he found when he got there sent him into action.
Spraying her house with a water hose, and by the time that the water hose or the water was hitting it, it was evaporating. And then so I went back there today. The road was blocked off, but we still we went through the subdivision, through the trails, and whenever we went there, her house was the only one standing. The black smoke was burning the house next to us, and so I was spraying it as much as I could, and then I just threw the water hose on top of it and then ran because it was bad.
Only one firefighter was injured and he has minor injuries, but as far as residents, there were no injuries reported. And while we were driving, my photographer Obin and I, we ran into multiple road blockages, and meteorologist Robert Speta, he has been tracking those road closures. So Robert, what can people look out for?
Yeah, plenty of those road closures, Biljana. And by the way, just incredible footage you have there. And it just really goes to show how important it is to avoid this area if you can, just to let the crews do their work here with this ongoing fire. But let's just talk about some of the road closures we have here. Basically, extending across 82, that is completely closed off at this point from Old Post Road all the way back towards Nahunta. Meanwhile, on 32 as well, you have closures here too. So there are multiple spots. Now, if you do need to evacuate here from 82, they're suggested to head north and basically head away from where that fire is. And also south of Atkinson and Waynesville here, even on 110 and 259, also looking at some pretty decent closures here as well. So just avoid this area if at all possible.
All right, thank you, Robert. And in Brantley County, where Biljana currently is, schools will be closed again tomorrow due to this wildfire impact. In a statement, the district said the safety of our students, staff, and families, that remains our top priority. We appreciate your patience and support during this time.
A state of emergency is now issued for 91 Georgia counties as these dangerous fires burn in southern Georgia. For the first time ever, the Georgia Forestry Commissioner is now issuing a mandatory outdoor burn ban. So take a look at this map right here. It shows you where the state of emergency and the burn bans are. It impacts 91 counties. That includes every single Georgia county in our viewing area. So during this time, it's prohibited to burn yard debris and burn permits will not be issued. Governor Brian Kemp spoke today about the fire dangers.
Yeah, 98% of our state is in a drought right now, much of it severe. Wildfires on average are above the normal 5-year average. We've got multiple fires underway right now. Unfortunately, the weather conditions right now, we don't see much changing on the ground. We're going to continue to do everything we can, but we need a change in the weather to help us out, either some higher humidity, wind changes that allow us to fight back against the fire. So it's very difficult conditions right now.
Chief Meteorologist Lewis Turner continuing our team coverage tonight. So Lou, we just heard from the Georgia governor there. The weather is not helping crews fight this fire, and a lot of people still wondering, when will there be relief?
Yeah, we got to get some rain, right? So he mentioned it's been a long time since we've had it. The reason we've got these critical levels of fire danger for Thursday, Friday is just those dew points remaining dangerously low. Dew points get a little better Saturday, Sunday. We get a little more moisture in the atmosphere, but just don't let this give you comfort in the just seeing the yellow and the slightly elevated fire danger risk. We still have it because also, as the governor mentioned, much of the state of Georgia and much of the state of Florida in some level of severe, but even extreme to exceptional drought. So it's going to take weeks, months worth of catching up with rain to really break this fire risk. Since August 25th to April 21st, we've had a foot of rain. That's 17 inches, almost 18 inches below normal. Now, as we go into the weekend and we look at modeling, we do see some rain chances. Not great, but we see some. We'll take a look at that coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Lou. Well, tonight, every single First Coast county is under some sort of burn ban. In fact, just today, Nassau County announced that it's extending its ban. Today, we spoke with the director of the Florida Forest Service, and he says that with no rain in the forecast, the worst could still be ahead.
It is going to get worse before it gets better because we could have a lot of areas that don't receive the rain and get lightning, and that's going to create, because we're so dry, it's such a tinderbox out there, it's going to create, every lightning strike as a potential as a new start.
And tonight, the railroad fire straddles the Clay-Putnam County line, engulfing more than 4,000 acres. Crews are making progress, reaching 55% containment on day 4. Zach Wilcox continues our team coverage live from Decoy Road. And Zach, the fire and smoke still an issue out there.
It sure is, Anthony. We came down Decoy Road earlier this afternoon and noticed a plume of smoke over behind Decoy Baptist Church, and so we decided to stop here, and we saw some fire trucks that were here, and it's been a pretty active scene, really all off and on all throughout the day. I figure I'll step out here so that you can see we've got the Forest Service trucks behind me here. They've been dropping these dozers off onto the road, and they've been going back up into the woods, and so you can almost hear more of the activity than you can see at this point because we've seen some of the trees starting to shake. We've heard some snapping as well, and then I'm going to have Chris go ahead and show us this dark plume of smoke. It was much darker just a couple of minutes ago, and we saw some planes flying overhead. We know that those planes, the air tankers that were flown in out of Chattanooga to help with some of the air attack on this fire, and we've seen just so many dozers coming in and out of this area. They just kind of pop out of the woods and reappear and then disappear again as they continue to work on those containment lines. And we found out that one of the issues they've run into is that they've hit this swampy area, so they have to let that swampy area burn down a little bit and reach those containment lines, which means there's just a lot of smoke happening, and that's the concern we heard from one person that we talked with today.
I have asthma, and I had to stay in except for taking my dog out. I was inside. This is not good for your lungs, and it ain't good for my lungs. I was all concerned about because of the smoke and health problems mostly.
Yeah, and Ann even told us, who we just heard from, that she actually covers her mouth with a piece of cloth every time that she does have to step out to take her dog out, and she was trying to make sure that she was driving safely with all the smoke that's out here today. Fortunately, a lot of that smoke has moved up here in the daytime. It'll likely settle back down as we work into the evening here, and that's a concern for drivers in Clay County. And it's going to be a concern for a while, guys, because this is a big fire that continues to burn. In Clay County, Zach Wilcox, First Coast News, on your side.
It's impacting a lot of people. Zach, thank you. Well, new tonight, federal funds now authorized to help battle the railroad complex fire. FEMA says the grants will fund up to 75% of firefighting costs. At the time of the request, the agency says 1,500 homes in Clay and Putnam County were threatened, and 220 people had voluntarily evacuated.
And we have an update tonight on the Connor Nelson Road fire. This is located near Hilliard. Now the Florida Forest Service says the fire stayed steady at 500 acres and is 85% contained. Crews will continue working on the fire until it is, of course, 100% contained. All roads in the area have reopened.